So if you and your partner have kind of hit an impasse in your marriage and you're wondering if there's such a thing as unfixable problems in marriage, according to the experts and therapists that, deal with marriage, such as myself, there are unfixable things in marriage. And the unfixables we talk about we're talking about patterns or traits, or no matter how much energy or effort or therapy is applied, they tend to remain resistant to meaningful change. These are often core personality traits, emotional immaturities, or relational dynamics that make long-term partnership painful or unsustainable. Now, the problem with these is we usually project them onto our partner, and we're less aware of seeing them in ourselves. So I wanted to make a list of what those are and what make them unfixable, so that if you can have self-awareness and identify this pattern in you, then you could foreseeably go to therapy and work on it and deal with it and come back into the relationship and make the relationship work. That's ideally. But usually people do not do that because it's painful and it takes a lot of hard work and effort to make changes within ourselves. So we'd rather blame our partner. And it is true, if there's one partner who has a pattern that is resistant to change, the other partner's way of dealing with it is not usually hopeful. They get exhausted, they get frustrated, and it's that deadlock that actually ends the marriage, or we just say the marriage just simply can't work like this. This is an unfixable problem. So the first one is chronic emotional immaturity. The signs of it are like defensiveness or blame shifting every time conflict arrives, stonewalling, sulking, or emotional withdrawal, needing to be right more than being connected, and viewing feedback as a personal attack. So it's unfixable when a partner refuses to grow up emotionally, leaving the relationship stuck in a parent-child dynamic. And I think this is really important that you identify what makes it unfixable in that matter. The second characteristic is a narcissism or entitlement. This is an explosive reaction to being challenged, or a lack of remorsefulness or hurtful behavior, manipulation or gaslighting, seeing a spouse as an extension rather than a separate person. What makes this unfixable is there's no sustained empathy, remorse, or motivation to change. Like, if this person behaving this way were willing to change, you could fix this issue, just like I alluded to before. But because they won't, that's what makes it unfixable, and you have to end the marriage. Contempt and disdain, eye-rolling, name-calling, sarcasm or mocking tone, deep resentment with no curiosity or care, rewriting history to paint one person as the problem. Whenever you project so strongly that it's always the other person, there's going to be a problem in the marriage, and it's going to end up unfixable. This is unfixable when respect and basic fondness have eroded beyond repair. Remember, contempt and disdain was what John Gottman referred to when he said this was one of the horsemen that basically ended the marriage. Addiction without accountability. So addictions include lies, secrecy, broken promises, financial or emotional instability, defensiveness when confronted. Along with addictions, I'm including betrayal, because I do think betrayal follows the path of an addiction. It's unfixable when the partner stays in denial or refuses sustained treatment. If you have an addiction of any kind, whether it's porn, cheating, whatever it is, and you could even say porn was a form of cheating, basically the denial keeps you trapped. Until you can value the relationship you have with your partner more than you can allow the medication or the vice you're using to take dominance, you're stuck. And it's being in that stuck space that breaks the relationship. It breaks everything. It erodes trust, as well as any love connection the two of you had. Chronic avoidance or discouragement, disengagement. I think refusing to talk issues out, or even talk about your feelings, living parallel lives. So you're no longer connecting on an emotional or physical level. You both have different worlds. I'm just not affectionate, used as a shield instead of owning what's going on with you and learning to be affectionate. It becomes unfixable when the avoidant person sees no value in emotional intimacy. Like they simply cannot be vulnerable. They can't allow themselves that pain, that vulnerability to open up and share how they're feeling with their partner. Number 6 is abuse in any form. This is emotional, verbal, sexual, or physical. It's basically any time you abuse another person, you are telling that person, I hate you and I hate myself even more. I will use you to my advantage. That's basically what a form of abuse is. It's unfixable because the abuser denies, minimizes, or blames the victim. In other words, you're their projection of why they act the way they do. Whatever is haunting them, whatever is so toxic to them, they give to you. They act out on you. You can't live with that. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't allow yourself to stay in an abusive marriage, no matter what form of abuse it is. And number 7 is just values misalignment. I see this in so many people who are preparing for marriage. They don't share the same values, differing desires for children, lifestyle, or faith, and mismatched views on money, fidelity, or ambition. They may say they agree, but they really don't. Their actions are not in line with what their mouth verbalizes believing. So it's unfixable when one partner has to abandon their authentic self, their values, to maintain the marriage. And you know, anytime you have to basically abandon your own values, you're going to end up lost and alone and so miserable in a relationship, you just can't stay in. It's not good for your mental or physical health. You're not helping anyone. You're not helping yourself, any child you do have, and you're not helping your partner because you're lying. You're basically abandoning everything you believe in that is not healthy in your mind, body, or soul. And if you're in that, I encourage you to get out. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.